Good morning, Buck Bookers, and welcome back to another riveting episode of Buck's Books. As always, I am your scruffy and rakishly unkempt host, Buck, coming to you live from the floor, where I am all decked out in America's favorite Chinese warm-up suit in celebration of the book that we're going to be discussing today, which is called On Muscle, The Stuff That Moves Us and Why It Matters, by Bonnie Tsui. Foundationally, the book talks about how muscle is going to make everything in your life better, and if you are returning to this channel, you know that I have been proselytizing that pretty much since the channel's inception. Muscle, we have the data to back up the fact that muscle is what determines how long you're going to live and how good that life is going to be, pretty much. So the more you have, the more you make, the better things are going to be for you and the longer you're going to live, with some allowances made for how you get it. Because like if you we talked about chronic cardio recently, so yeah, there will be more muscle in your heart in the form of scar tissue, but that's not ideal. That's not the kind that increases your likelihoods of longevity. And if you just blast horse testosterone all the time, if you are like doing mad stacks of roids, yeah, you're gonna get huge, dude. If you put in the work, you will absolutely get enormous. But sacrifices will be made there as well. And some of them might be that your beanbag shrivels up to nothing, and some of them might be that you get back knee and your hair goes away. Not that I have much room to talk. This is natty. I don't even have the benefit of doing steroids, and this is just going away. Could kind of nudge you in the other direction on that one, huh? Since all is void, where can the dust alight sort of thing. May as well. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Oh, what's the other one? Oh, your heart will explode. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger got a quadruple bypass, remember? Remember when that happened? He's not the only one. There's a reason all these pro bodybuilders tend to drop off in their 40s and 50s. Not all of them, but many of them, and that's because they were, blasting mad horse testosterone, and then it made them huge. It established the golden age of bodybuilding, no doubt. Nothing can be had for nothing at the end of the day. But generally speaking, you build muscle as naturally as you're able to, and you'll hang on to it for a while, so long as you don't starve yourself or do something stupid, atrophy. And then that will make you feel better all the time. It'll burn more calories, so you won't get tremendously fat, more than likely. And you'll just be more healthy in general. And that's what Sweet Bonnie Tsui is trying to tell us. The more muscle you have, it's good. Is the main thrust of the book is that muscle is good to have. And I don't know if this is sort of a Jimmy Neutron brain blast for you guys, but it is. It's good to be strong. It's way better than the alternative, because you got to think of this dichotomously. There's only two ways this can shake out. You're either strong or you're not. And why would you choose to be not? No one wants you to be not. You don't want to be not. There is no one in this world who's like, man, I wish my husband or father or son or wife or daughter or mother was weaker. I wish they were just worse. I wish they were less reliable and capable. Who would do that unless they're, ill? Like they're out there but they're ill, and they're not the people you're trying to surround yourself with. So generally speaking, it is always good to be stronger. But Bonnie Tsui sort of takes an alternate perspective on this because of mean old society. A lot of the book turned into, it was a surprise, it's about feminism. There's feminism hidden in there. It's like a Trojan horse. You didn't know. You thought it was just going to be about muscle and how muscle is cool. I thought it was going to be a science book. She's a science journalist. It's actually about feminism. And that's fine, because this is good. What she's saying is girls should be strong. I agree. Girls should be strong all the time. Men do not get a monopoly on strength. Everybody gets to be strong as part of being human. Do it. You should. You should get massive, dude. You should get unbelievably swole. You should be a powerhouse. You should be able to suplex a 100-pound dog at any given time because the dog loves it and you don't know when it's going to save your life. That might be how you become friends with the dog that was going to kill you previously. Now, this is an unlikely example, but I will say that it has deepened my bond with, you know what? Pretty much everyone in my life I've ever suplexed. There's not one person or animal who I have suplexed in my time that it did not improve our relationship. But you need to have the torque necessary to pull off that suplex. You need to be able, you need to have the strength and stability to just, whip them around. And that's your responsibility. No one else can do that for you. And that's kind of what Bonnie says. But Bonnie also says mean old society discourages women from being strong. And I believe that to be true for the most part. Less true now than it once was. But if you need someone to sort of speak out against society right now, you're in luck. You came to the right YouTube channel. Go ahead and get massive. I mean, not massive, not like fetish content massive. That's not what I'm talking about. But you should be strong. Everyone should be strong. Just go get stronger. Why wouldn't you get stronger? So she talks a lot about that and how muscle is good for you. She talks a lot about women's powerlifting and how men were gatekeeping women's powerlifting, and now they're not. And she talks about specific women who picked up those big rocks in Scotland. The Dinny Stains. Or Steens. That's the Dinny Stones. Picked up the big Dinny Stones in Scotland. They're like 300 and 400-ish pounds a piece. So that's no mean feat. To pick them both up together, that sucks, dude. You know, that's heavy. So good for her. The majority of men are never going to be capable of doing that. So it's awesome that she did it. Wonderful. And then the entire latter half of the book just turned into this weird memoir about how her dad was kind of absent and a dick, but she never recognized him as such. At no point was she ever man, what an ultimately bad father. But she strongly implied, almost as if she's fishing for it, almost as if she wants someone to say, man, what a bad father. Because she just keeps defending him. I mean, you see, I see this all the time. I was like, well, he did everything that he could for us. Well, no, that's his job. He'd go to jail if he didn't. Just because they raised you and supported you doesn't mean that you owe your parents any fealty. Matter of fact, they owe you everything because they dragged you kicking and screaming into this dystopian hell world. You had no say in this. That's how this works. They started this, and thus you are their responsibility henceforth, forever. Oh, it's nice to give back at some point, but not required. That's how that works, because that dynamic will be further perpetuated by the children that you have, and on and on and on. That's how it has worked since humans were first humans. So this is sort of a stumbling block that I see everywhere in my life, in my jobs, in mean old society, and in this book. So the second half of the book seemed like her really struggling to justify her father being bad. And she wouldn't... It's fortunate no one's ever going to see these reviews. None of the writers ever see these reviews. Because she wouldn't like that at all. Because she loves him so much because he was secretly such a good man. He was just limited by what he could do. And one of the things they bonded over was jumping rope and running around and exercising together. And that's one of the things she carried forward into her life and bonded with this sort of concept and spirit of her father, even when he was not around, even when he had moved back to Asia. And it is sad and contributes a lot of sort of emotional depth to the book that is not warranted or necessary or solicited, because I thought this was going to be a science book about muscle. And I think most people who read the book also thought it was going to be a science book about muscle, because it is called On Muscle, the stuff that moves us, and why it matters. So, like, it would be reasonable to suspect that the book was going to be almost entirely about muscle, right? Turns out it is about a fifth of the book was about muscle, and the rest was about cultural and daddy issues. And I know this sounds kind of harsh. Fortunately, I have faith that Bonnie Tsui will be able to withstand what I don't intend necessarily as criticism, but could be interpreted as such, due to her strength and the muscle that she has built. So, if you are interested in any of the things that I just talked about, a feminist perspective on muscularity and women in strength sports, or strained relationships with an absent and selfish father and how she tries to reconcile that in her adulthood, I'd strongly encourage you to read the book. You'll probably love it. I thought it was okay. I'm not sorry I read it, but I'm not going to read it again. And if I had known walking in, probably wouldn't have, because I didn't actually learn anything new about muscle. I just learned a bunch of new stuff about women's oppression and about Bonnie Tsui's life. There you have it. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, interact with the algorithm. Try to turn these digital demons to my and your mutual benefit. And I will talk to you very shortly, because I'm really digging this new setup and I got so many books to get through, dude.